What's up, like Nostalgia? Dave here with a review of BLACKPINK's new single, Jump. BLACKPINK as a group is back. It's been a long time coming, so much so that the last BLACKPINK album released in September 2022, a significant amount of time between releases for a K-pop group, of course. Now, BLACKPINK is different, as we know, and they've certainly been around, just in their solo forms, of course. Rose, Lisa, Jennie, and Jisoo all released successful solo projects and really found new heights as artists, as global stars. Of course, Rose's Apate is now one of the biggest songs of the decade by most metrics. Jennie and Lisa also found big success, and they did their own, solo performances, little mini tours and things like that. But the group famously, infamously did renew its contract with YG Entertainment, following that second Coachella performance, which had been a point of contention because of how things have gone at YG, right? Notably, 21 did not continue when BLACKPINK debuted. YG has debuted Baby Monster, which has found success. Would BLACKPINK as a group, as a unit, continue to exist? And didn't it even make sense for all these ladies to continue to work together, given the solo success they've found musically, all their other various interests in the acting world, fashion world, etc. Would it continue? Would they be able to make it work? And it seems like they have. Of course, they've kicked off the Deadline World Tour in Korea. That's going to be going through the end of the year. And were performing this new single, Jump, before it was officially released today. And now we're here with the song, which is the first song from the group since that one-off girls single in 2023. So it's really been almost 3 years when you think about anything substantial, in terms of the actual music. And in general, BLACKPINK hasn't released a ton of music, which has been a big criticism. So a lot's been riding on Jump, because I think this is a song that needs to obviously bring the group back, and the fan attention, the overwhelming popularity of the group is not going anywhere. But I do think this song will be in the shadow of the success of the solo work, because the solo work was largely very good. I thought the Jennie album was really superb. So BLACKPINK, will they be able to make music that's fresh as a unit? I applaud BLACKPINK's Jump for being a bit of a different vibe from what they've traditionally released. This very quick drum tempo propels the song. It even gets mariachi-esque horns on the chorus. It's something they haven't really done. However, the chorus is thin. The first part of the chorus, they're only repeating the word jump. They're not actually doing much other than stomping to the beat. And, it gets a little bit more melodic in the second half. The verses in general have a lot more bite to them. But it does feel like a song that overall is pretty lacking. This song in a vacuum doesn't really stand up to most of BLACKPINK's discography, of course, the massive highs they've already achieved. But if you look through the lens of them trying something new, notably Diplo's a co-producer on this song. He did work on Like Jennie. Perhaps this is a sign of a new direction for the group, and if that's the case, I do think that would be interesting, of the group really shifting their sounds and dynamics in this new era after they've, renewed their group contract. So I'm certainly tantalized by what this can mean for the future, but I think this song itself doesn't really come together in the end. And it's a song that I feel like I like parts of it, right? I like the way that beat progresses and it speeds up to take you into the chorus, but then once the chorus drops, it just feels so unfinished, And it's just like a dance break moment where they speak jump. I don't know. It just feels underwhelming. And, I think verse 2, I think Lisa and Jennie's rap flow, it's pretty breezy. It's not their best, but it's solid. It flows on the beat just fine. They're obviously so good at that. I think those pre-chorus build-up moments, like little pockets of melody, I think the lyrics are just fine. Overall, I think Rose seems to be kind of gliding as well. With the song, but again, it's lyrically very thin. There's just not a whole lot of songwriting going on here. So, you compare this to the last time they had a comeback single, that was Pink Venom. I mean, it's just not comparable to a song like that. That's a song that is everything you expect from BLACKPINK and very successful at that. This, again, I'm most interested in what this could potentially mean for their future sound, because that beat progression, those horns, the overall BPM range of how quick this beat moves that maybe is a sign of things to come and sounds to hear in the future. And I'm curious about that. We know that the Blackpink women, they haven't renewed with YG for their solo work, and we saw that largely bear out very successfully with them more in control of their own sound. Obviously, hearing the music Rose made of her own accord, very different from the work she makes as part of Blackpink. I'll be curious how much creative input they have on their future group work, because obviously they had all the leverage when it came to renewing with YG when they ended up doing so. One final note on the song too, I mean, we always think of like the classic YG outro, the YG dance break to end a song, and Jump has one, but it's a pretty middling 20 seconds. There's just not really much to it. The song just kind of peters out. Almost feels kind of unnecessary, like he didn't even need it in the song. Notably, Teddy Park is one of the co-writers here, and Teddy Park, of course, has come under a lot of criticism for his late work with Blackpink. Now, there's a lot of other people that worked on the song. Of course, Diplo co-produced, as I mentioned. So how much input did Teddy actually have on this? Who knows? Again, that's something we'll pay attention to with future music. Let me know, though, what did you think of Blackpink's Jump? Are you a bit underwhelmed from this comeback, especially given the immense solo success we've recently heard? Let me know. What do you want to hear next from the group? And for more music reviews, more K-pop reviews, subscribe. And I'll see you next time.